Hey everyone, this is Blue Eyes Master 91. No, I'm not dead. I am back. I've just been fairly busy. A lot has been going on over the last, I think, year and a half since I uploaded. So a small life update. Uh, I started to do more freelance work as a videographer, which is what I want to do. So that led me to recording my sister's wedding and reception, a friend's wedding and reception. I was working full time. Keyword in that sentence is was. As of Thursday, I did lose my job. So I'm currently in the process of working and getting a new job. As for everything else, I am in my master's degree program as well. So I have been working to get more education and get my master's degree. I am currently at the end of the 6 month mark. It is an accelerated program and it will take me a full year. So I started it back in January of 26. I will graduate January of 2027. I will do my best to update more frequently, and by that I mean hopefully more than once every 9 months. I'm hoping to be able to have a regular upload schedule. Uh, while I'm looking for a new job, at least I should be able to upload quite frequently. Getting into everything else, so as you can see, I am not using physical cards for this profile. I am using Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega, which if you have not checked it out, it is a phenomenal way to play test decks and kind of get familiar with upcoming stuff. I have used Yu-Gi-Oh! EDO Pro in the past, and while that is another phenomenal piece of software, it does have a lot of problems with this program. However, Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega, it lines up decks really nicely. It does do legacy formats, so I have my Genesis deck, I have my Chaos Goat deck, and then I have a Gravekeeper Hat deck all set up. As you can see, it also allows for better setup and manager, where you have little icons you can click. For example, if you double click in, you go into the deck itself. I actually just recently updated this deck, probably 10 minutes before I started this video. I have the old Exodia deck with updates to it. And yeah, so getting into today's video, I figured I'd do a couple of quick profiles because it has been a while. So the first profile I was going to do is my Blue Eyes Buster Blader Genesis deck. So the best part about this is you can go over to this unlimited thing here, scroll down, click on Genesis, and it'll tell you what the points are for every card you add onto the profile. Obviously, wishes are both 33, and that's 66, and then 5 for a trade-in. Looking for the other points I have. Monster Reborn is 3, and Raigeki is 4, putting me at a total of 78. The other thing that Omega does is it prices out the entirety of the deck. So this deck, to finish it, the exact way I have it built, would cost $85.31, not including tax and not including shipping. It breaks down what everything will cost. The side deck is $22, extra deck being $15, and the main deck being $47. So getting into the profile real quick, because this is a Genesis build, I had a lot more fun with it. I'm running 3 Blue Eyes, and Blue Eyes Shining is the big boss of the main deck. I am also utilizing Alternative, which for those who haven't used it before, Alternative is a phenomenal monster for when he came out. Alternative allows you to reveal Blue Eyes Red Dragon in your hand, to special summon it, and once a turn, you are able to target a monster your opponent controls and pop it. And that it cannot attack that turn, however. Let's pull up the actual effect here. So it can't be normal summon or set. It must be special summon from your hand by revealing the blue eyes of a dragon in your hand. You can only special summon it this way once per turn. This card becomes blue eyes of a dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. Once a turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it. This card cannot attack the turn it activates the effect. So the way I used to utilize alternative, and the way I still utilize it more or less, is I will utilize the pop, and then if I have a synchro play on deck set up ready to go, I will simply go with the synchro play going into Spirit Dragon or Azurize, or if I can, go into the fusion plays going into alternative Ultimate Dragon or the original, or even a Twin Burst, or into Tyrant. A lot of options with that. Jet is a staple in the current meta for Blue Eyes, so that's a no-brainer. Abyss Dragon is interesting. I've never been a massive fan of Abyss Dragon. I always thought that there was a lot more they could do with it. Let's pull up the full effect here. This card is special summon. You can add one ritual spell or one polymerization from your deck to your hand during the end phase. You can add a level 8 or higher dragon monster from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard. All level 8 and higher dragon monsters gain 1,000 attack. You can only use each effect of Abyss Dragon once per turn, and can only activate them while you have a Blue Eyes White Dragon on your field or in your graveyard. So, the way that Abyss Dragon really helps is it fetches you your polymerization or your chaos form. Or technically it's any ritual spell. I would use it to grab my chaos form. So I'd also really honestly only utilize it for the banishing effect. Couple formats ago now, I would use Shen from the Virtual World deck, which can return a banished monster, and you can just simply abuse it, allowing you to banish it, increase attack. Shen or any monster in the field would attack. You'd be able to return a banished monster, and you can start the process again. Let's see here. Virtual. Here we go. Shen. That's only downside to anything on the computer is you gotta be really, really good about how you move. Okay, so any card sent from field to graveyard is banished. Instead, it is a walking microcosm, shifter, whatever you want to compare it to. You can only use each of the following effects of Shen once per turn. When a monster declares an attack, you can return one banished monster to the owner's graveyard. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish 2 other monsters from your grave with different original types and attributes from each other. Special summon the scarf from your graveyard. So, Shen is phenomenal. It allows you to recycle your banished. I am not using it in the Genesis build at this moment, mostly because it is 20 points. I could utilize it. There's nothing really stopping me from adding it in, putting me at 98 full points. I can go over here and save. But Shen I really did enjoy utilizing when I had it in the deck. Moving on to more staples, 3 copies of Sage. It's just easy. Single copy of Kaiser Seahorse. Neo Kaiser Seahorse is really, really good in this deck. If you control Blue Eyes, you can special summon from your hand. You can target a level 1 light tuner you control, increase or decrease its level by 1. If this card is sent from field to grave, you can send 1 Blue Eyes monster or 1 monster that mentions it from deck to grave, except for an additional copy of Neo Kaiser. So the play is you use Neo Kaiser to send the Kaibaman the Legend. I'll actually move Kaibaman over real quick. Kaiba Man is a card I really love. He is a very funny monster. So, Kaiba Man the Legend. This card is normal special summon. You can show 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons in your hand, deck, face-up field, and or your graveyard. So basically all areas of the field minus the banishment. Then you can special summon a Blue Eyes from your hand, deck, or grave. This card is special summon. Or if you special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon while this card is in your grave, you can banish this card, add a Blue Eyes monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So in more competitive builds, you would banish the Kaiba Man the Legend to grab your copy of Chaos Max to go into Magia. In Genesis, Magia is worth 100 points, however. So that play is a non-starter. We do have the Dictator of D. Did not mean to duplicate. Ooh, and I just got rid of him completely. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm still kind of learning the software here. I'm going to put him over here so I can pull this up. While you control a Blue Eyes monster, you can you choose the attack targets of your opponent. You can only use each of the following effects once a turn. You can send 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from hand or deck to graveyard, special summon this card. You can discard a Blue Eyes White Dragon or 1 card that mentions it, then target a Blue Eyes in your grave and special summon it. So, a Dictator AD builds off of the Lord of Dragons, which was a phenomenal card back in the day. Let's see here. So, moving right along, we have our 3 copies of Maiden, which is a more well-known monster. You can discard her to activate your copy of True Light. She revives herself, and Blue Eyes is special summoned. If she is targeted for an attack or by a card effect, you can special summon a Blue Eyes from your graveyard if there is one in the graveyard. Or you can summon a level 1 Light Tuna. So, she is another really, really cool card. And she is extremely used in the meta. Cards that aren't really used anymore. The White Stone of Legend, you can discard it to add a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. And then the Stone of Ancients. So the Stone of Ancients I really loved back when it was a viable card. Obviously, it's not really in the meta anymore because you don't want Blue Eyes in your hand. You want it in the grave. So, once a turn during the end phase of this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can special summon a Blue Eyes from your deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a Blue Eyes monster in your grave, add it to your hand. So, White Stone of Ancients is honestly a really, really good card. For Genesis, at least, it's extremely good because it allows you to special summon when it's in the grave. When it's into the graveyard, you summon out a Blue Eyes. You can banish it to add a Blue Eyes back to hand. Getting into the secondary engine, the Buster Blader engine. Buster Blader, the Destruction Swords Master. This card becomes Buster Blader while on the field or in the grave. If a monster your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target one of those destroyed monsters, equip it to this card once per turn. You can send 1 monster you control that is equipped to this card to the graveyard, destroy all monsters your opponent controls with the same type as the monster sent to grave. So he is a board wipe, depending on what type of deck you are up against. So that's kind of cool. Whelp of the Dragon Destroyer. Buster Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman. When this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Destruction Sword card from your deck to your hand, except Buster Whelp. You can only use one of the following effects per turn, and only once that turn. You contribute this card, special summon a Buster Blader from your hand or graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you control Buster Blader, you can discard 1 Destruction Sword card and special summon. So I don't utilize the Buster Whelp for either of those effects. In complete honesty, I utilize it for different reasons. So moving right into the spells real quick, we have our Mausoleum, which allows you to gain an additional normal summon for a level 1 Light Tuner. You can also target a monster you control, dump a Blue Eyes, or any normal monster. In this case, it would be Blue Eyes. and empower the monster by the level times 100. So you would gain 800 attack because you would discard that Blue Eyes. What I have come to start to do is when Blue Eyes is revived and Maiden comes back out and you have Mausoleum on the field, activate Mausoleum targeting Maiden. Maiden's effect would be Chainlink 2, which would trigger first. You summon a Blue Eyes if you have one in the graveyard or any other level 1 Light Tuner except for Maiden. And then she goes up to 800. You get another monster on board. It's really, really fun. Then we have the Ultimate Fusion, which is a quick play fusion spell. It gives you a pop if you use material from the field, and the materials are shuffled into the deck. Really, really cool. Roar the Blue-Eyed Dragon lets you special summon a Blue Eyes from deck and defense, or graveyard or banishment, whatever you want to do. You can also banish it and fusion summon our copies of Wishes. I am only running 2 because otherwise I wouldn't have space for anything else. Honestly, I don't mind the 2 copies. In complete honesty, I think it's better. Let's see here. We're at 16 minutes. That's fine. So for Wishes, you discard a card, add a level 1 Light Tuner, and a spell that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. You can also banish this card from your graveyard. Go into the extra deck, equip either Ultimate Dragon or Neo to your Blue Eyes, and then tribute for Tyrant Dragon. Really, really fun. We have our copy of Burst Stream of Destruction, which if you control a Blue Eyes White Dragon, destroy all monsters your opponent controls, but then the Blue Eyes White Dragon cannot attack. Not really something that's difficult to get around anymore. Polymerization allows you to fusion summon. Bingo Machine Go, reveal 3 cards from your deck that meet one of the following criteria: a Blue Eyes monster or a spell trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. So really, really cool there. We have our Mage Power, which gives additional 500 attack and defense for every spell and trap you have on the field. Unit of Withstand increases attack and defense by 800 for every monster on the field for a specific equipped monster. Trade-in lets you discard a level 8 to draw 2 cards. True Light lets you revive and set spells. And protects Blue Eyes, but if it goes away, it board wipes. We have our Majesty, which if you have you show up to 3 Blue Eyes, and you can destroy cards on your opponent's side of the field equal to the number you revealed. So in this case, revealing 3 gets you 3 pops. We have our copy of Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman. You send a Destruction Sword card and a Buster Blader monster from deck to the grave, except for another copy of Prologue, and special summon Buster Dragon from the extra deck, but destroy during the end phase. Let's see here. You can banish this card from your graveyard. This turn, Destruction Sword cards you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. You can only use each effect once a turn. Then we have Destruction Stored Memories, so a combo piece here. You send Destruction Stored Memories and the Buster Blader here to go into the Buster. Well, there you are. Buster Dragon, rather, and then you can go into the Fusion monster here. We have Mirror Force. Oh, I guess I should talk about what this does. You discard a Destruction Sword card, special summon a Buster Blade from the deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, Fusion Summon Buster Blade of the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman from your extra deck by banishing its fusion materials. Then we again have the Mirror Force, Magic Cylinder, and Negate Attack. Because this is in Genesis, traps have a little bit more versatility, and it is a Blue Eyes deck in Genesis that cannot utilize the full power. So, of course, I'm going to put in cards that help mitigate the odds of a brick. So, getting into our extra deck, we have our Buster Dragon. Buster Dragon takes a tuner and a non-tuner monster. All monsters your opponent controls become dragons once per turn. If you do not control Buster Blader, you can target one Buster Blader in your graveyard, special summon it once per turn, once per opponent's turn. Quick effect. You can destroy one. You can target a Buster Blader monster you control, equip it with a Destruction Sword card in your graveyard. I do not utilize either of those effects. Buster Dragon just kind of sits in defense. Here is our Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroying Swordsman. Must be fusion summoned, cannot attack directly, gains 1000 attack and defense for each dragon your opponent controls or in their graveyard. Change all dragon monsters your opponent controls to defense. Also, dragon monsters in your opponent's possession cannot activate their effects. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict battle piercing damage. So it has a built-in Fairy Meteor Crush. It's really, really fun, actually. Let's see here real quick. Dragon Rage. Actually, and Genesis Dragon Rage might be a really, really good trap. It is a continuous trap that allows dragon monsters that attack defense monsters to inflict piercings. So that's really, really cool. We then get into the typical Blue Eye stuff. So Ultimate Spirit Dragon. Alternative Ultimate Dragon has been seen in a while, so I'll go over what it does real quick. Your opponent cannot target or destroy this card with card effects. Once per turn, you can target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. If this card was fusion summoned using a alternative dragon, you can target up to 3. This card cannot attack during the turn it activates the effect. So if you're going to board wipe with alternative ultimate, you better have another game plan for an attack. We have the original Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and then we have Twin Burst. Twin Burst is fun. You contact fuse with him. Must be either fusion summoned or special summoned by sending the above monsters you control to the graveyard. You do not need to utilize polymerization for this. It is a true blue contact fusion. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. You can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase at the end of the damage step. When this card attacks an opponent's monster, but the opponent's monster was not destroyed by that battle, you banish the monster. So you still take damage, but you banish, which is really, really cool. Tyrant Dragon attacks all monsters your opponent controls once each, is unaffected by trap cards, and allows you to recycle any trap you have in your graveyard. Neo Ultimate Alternative is Protection, and then we have 5-Head Dragon because funny. That actually might get taken out. We have our 3 Spirit Dragon. We have our Azure Eyes, which for those who do not have experience with Azure Eyes, if this card is special summoned until the end of the next turn, neither player can target dragon monsters you control with card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by card effects. Once per turn during the standby, special summon one normal monster in your graveyard. So it allows you to resummon Blue Eyes Ultimate, or Blue Eyes White Dragon. Simple. Ancient Fairy Life Dragon allows you to attack with its defense stat if it's in defense. And then we have Indigo Silver, which I have never actually had to summon, so I'm not sure if that'll stay either. It cannot attack directly unless it has a normal monster as material. You can only use each of the following effects of Indigo Silver once per turn. This card is Xyz summoned. You can negate the effect of all face-up monsters your opponent, or all face-up cards your opponent controls. You can detach one material from this card, then target one normal monster in your graveyard of banishment, special summon it, and if you do, it gains 1,000. So, another way to resummon a Blue Eyes that gets banished and gives it an additional 1,000. So, really, really cool there. Quickly diving in, obviously, you can see the entire profile on the screen. So, Buster Blader, the original, we have our 3rd copy of Kabumat, a 2nd copy of Shining Dragon, a 2nd copy of Alternative, 2 more copies of Neo, our copy of Chaos Max because funny, Pot of Avarice to recycle monsters, an additional copy of Ultimate Fusion, and a 3rd copy of Bingo Machine, Monster Reborn, Swords of Revealing Light, Raigeki, and Dragon Shrine, wrapping up with our Shen. So, like I said, this is just a Genesis build. This was a lot of fun. I do have this built in real life. I'm looking forward to being able to utilize it in a Genesis match at some point. That just has not worked out in my favor yet. So, with that said, I will be doing a test hand video for this profile shortly. I can just do it real quick, actually. Why not? So, this is what the overlay system looks like for test hands. Nothing crazy. I can use Maiden, setting the or activating True Light, utilizing True Light's effect. I will grab my wishes face down. I can utilize wishes effect, pitching the alternative. Grabbing Roar and Sage. I can then normal summon out Sage. Sage's effect allows you to add anything to your hand. In this case, I will add the Cabinet Legend. Because why not? I can then activate my Roar, summoning Blue Eyes in defense. When Blue Eyes is summoned in defense, I have my Maiden's effect go off to resummon her in defense. However, I'm going to go with Synchro Summon into Spirit. No, I'm not going to utilize the effect. I'm going to throw a card face down, and I will not utilize any effects. I'm actually going to turn them off for the moment, and I'll go up here to the end phase and be done. Turn that back on. I'll activate the power of True Light to special summon. No, I'm not going to block it. I'll summon out Blue Eyes in attack mode. No. Obviously, I could turn all this off, but I'm not going to at the moment. Keymates that attack into my Maiden. My Maiden's effect now triggers, allowing me to resummon out my Sage in defense. Unfortunately, Maiden does fall, but that's fine. You know what? I am going to go no. No. I can set a card. Why is my dog going off? I'll go activate Burst Stream of Destruction, destroying everything my opponent controls. I'll use Sage to once again Synchro Summon into another copy of my Spirit Dragon. No, I'm not going to utilize the effect. I'm going to go Spirit Dragon effect number 1. No, I'm not going to chain it. I'm going to go into Ultimate Dragon. No, I'm going to use Spirit Dragon's effect. No. To go into Azurai Silver Dragon. No, I'm not going to chain anything. No. So now Ultimate Dragon won't be destroyed during the end phase. Most likely. I've not actually utilized this part of my strategy yet. First, I'm needing to. I'll go summon out Cubman. Cubman the Legends effect does trigger. I review Blue as in Grave, Blue as in Deck, Blue as in Deck. Summon from deck. Blue as with Dragon. Activating Maiden's effect. No, I'm not going to chain link. She comes out into defense. I'm not activating anything in response. Oh, that's what I was doing. Banishing the wishes. Targeting Blue Eyes. No. Equipping the Neo. No. Then going into Tyrant. Guess Tyrant goes up top. Oh, darn it. I did that in the wrong order. I need this off my board, though. So, let's go Roar, or True Light to some Blue Eyes in attack mode. Or that I don't want to do it this way, but it's fine. Cabman and Blue Eyes, Synchro Summon into Spirit. Spirit's effect. No. Into Ancient Fairy Life. Okay, so the other nice thing is when you attack, it does show damage. Tyrant will swing, dealing 34. Oh, I could do that. Okay. I can end my turn there. Huh? Oh, True Light effect. Yeah, I'll use True Light to set a spell. No, I'm not going to negate it. I'll go Ultimate Fusion down. I really don't need to use Cyberman the Legend since I do have a Shining in hand. Yes. I will activate the Power of Majesty. Majesty showing 3 blue eyes. No, I'm not going to chain that. 1, 2, 3. Huh? Oh, you only have 2 cards. Okay, well, that's fine. So, 1, 2. Check mark. Those go poof. Solemn Wishes. That was actually a really, really good choice. Activating the effect of my Maiden. Because you are attacking. I can... Oh, I did not mean to do that at all. Cyberman the Legend comes out and defends. Because Cyberman the Legend was special summoned. I can utilize his effect, though. Cyberman the Legend effect. No, I'm not going to chain link it. I'll go into alternative. Oh, right. I can reveal 3 and summoning blue eyes in attack mode. Baiting goes boom. No, not at the moment. I have Ultimate Fusion face down. Let me see here. 1, 2, 1 on board. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, the optimal play on this is going to be Ultimate Fusion to go into Ultimate Dragon, 2 and 3. Alternative does count as a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Summoning the Ultimate Dragon in attack mode. Destroy face of card your opponent controls. Yes. Bye-bye. Ultimate Fusion. No, I'm not going to chain it. I'm going to tribute Ultimate Dragon now. For Shining Dragon in attack mode. Shining Dragon. Special summon activate a quick effect? No. I'll then utilize Mage Power. Equipping it onto my Shining Dragon. And then I can use the power of True Light to set my Wishes face down. I can utilize Wishes effect, pitching the copy of trade-in to set Bingo Machine and to add Sage and Bingo Machine. Sage's effect then activates, targeting the Cyberman. And I can summon out the Jet Dragon in attack mode. So then I can set Bingo Machine face down, putting Shining Dragon at 6,300 attack. We can go into battle, and Shining Dragon will swing for 63. Obviously, it stops allowing you to attack, but up in the corner it shows by how much you went over. So I absolutely love the Omega setup. For a little bit, this is probably how I'll do my deck profiles to help myself out, getting more familiar with how everything works and learning decks themselves on here. And let me know down in the comments what you guys think of the system. I will eventually get back into using the physical decks. I am just slowly trying to figure out what my next game plan is. Obviously, between my master's degree and trying to start up a company of my own, there's not a lot of spare time. And what little spare time I do have at the moment, now that I'm also hunting for a new job that is full time, that gives me benefits, I'll be working to clean up my office so that way I can utilize my professional broadcast equipment to record physical decks. And, yeah. So I will catch y'all in the next video. That should be dropping fairly quickly because, again, I'll be utilizing Omega. I did the Genesis deck today. I'll probably do the Archfiend, the Primite deck, Exodia, Magnet Rizio, and then the Magia build, which I am so excited for this deck. I really, really love. Obviously, I'm a big Blue Eyes player. I have been since the game came out in 02, 01, 02, whichever one it was. Starting with that Kyber deck starter deck and just snowballing from there. I played in my first regional in 2004, and I've been in and out of the community since probably 06. Playing in and out of tournaments and whatnot, but becoming more active in the community again upon reaching adulthood. So I will catch you guys in the next video. It'll likely be on the Magia build. I do need to update the side deck options and even pieces in my extra deck to match what I have in the physical game. I do love the Magnet Rizio, just giving you guys a quick preview since I can at the moment. The Magnet Rizio was a lot of fun to build. Being able to rebuild my Exodia deck and getting that up to snuff with the new Gaia card is kind of nice. That deck still, unfortunately, isn't super viable in the meta currently, but it is a lot of fun. And then we do have the Red Dragon Archfiend deck, which, truth be told, a buddy of mine helped me with this build. It is probably the most expensive deck build I have for it, but it is so much fun. I do currently have in the physical world 2 copies of Harmonia. Ow. The two copies of Harmonia are really, really nice. They're extremely expensive, but they're very nice. So this deck's a lot of fun to play. There's some stuff I would change even with this deck profile. Like I said, the extra deck I could modify a little bit. Synchro Rumble is kind of nice with the Crimson Dragon package, but it's not really needed in the deck, I don't think. I don't even know if I really love using Cosmic Blazar. I feel like having Cypher Divine is enough of a middle finger, and Magia is just kind of like, yeah, I got 3 negates, what are you going to do? So, and then I'm still in the process of building my Goat deck, but I do have the Gravekeeper hat deck built. This is almost identical to how it looks in the physical world. I do need to eventually polish this off, but I really did like this deck as well. I had a lot of fun going to a couple of hat tournaments recently, and this was just a lot of fun. So I will catch you guys in the next video, as I said before, and I hope you have a great day.